justice for all.
Alright. We do the roll call sheet. Only person not in attendance is Scott. So we'll move through that. Approval of agenda, additions or deletions. Any additions or anything adjusted to the agenda? Just the two new business items?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Approval of minutes for July 9th, 2025. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Any reports?
Got some violations I'm working on. Got one on 7 Mile, I finally got a good address for. They're camping illegally. I've actually reported them to the health department. They're dumping raw sewage out of their camper onto the ground. So hopefully the health department will get involved and help that, but I've been trying to track down the address, which I finally got a good address for. I'm gonna send them a letter tomorrow, for violation. Hopefully get that corrected in the next 30 days, but whether or not they'll comply, we shall see. I've got a ticket I'm gonna be issuing tomorrow out on Deerfield, again, illegal camping. I've sent them a letter, no response from them. So at this point, I gave them an extra 30 days almost, so it's almost been 60 days to get them to move their bus. They've also built a shed on the property, it's a vacant lot, so that's gotta be gone. Had another camping issue in Deerfield, that's been corrected, that case has been closed. Fletcher Road, we had some illegal camping, that has been corrected and closed. West Love's illegal camping, corrected and closed. Another 5 Mile Road camping, they've got their, came in and got permit, so they're good to go for the next month. Then we had another camping issue on 7 Mile Road, but they also got a camping permit, so that also is caught up and closed.
Okay. It's like a lot of camping problems.
Well, they don't, most cases they don't realize that we don't allow camping, especially on vacant land, especially anything less than 2.5 acres.
Okay.
Or that they can come in and get a free permit to do so if they have 2.5 acres or more. So, more education than anything, I think.
Yep, makes sense. All right. Correspondence. That, unfinished business, but nothing in there. We'll jump to public hearing. So we are discussing
Do you want to close the regular meeting and open up the public hearing?
if that's what I need to do.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what I would like to do. I will close the regular meeting and open the public meeting.
Excuse me, could you speak a little bit louder? It's kind of hard to hear you.
Sure.
Thank you.
We are closing the regular meeting and opening the public meeting.
Do we need a motion for that? No, okay.
All right. So we are discussing the draft for the initial ordinances, is that correct?
The renewable energy.
Renewable energy, all right. So I initially just open it up for public comment?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Pat Cooper, who is driving this initiative? How did this come before the board?
This came before the board from was it NCOG?
NEMCOG.
Yep, director, she brought it to our attention that the township was being looked at for renewable energy options, and that we needed to put something in place so that if they were looking to come here, it didn't default to Michigan standards, because Michigan standards are very loose. They're very welcoming, and if we don't have something in place, then it automatically goes to Michigan, and we don't have any say in anything. We don't have say in setbacks, we don't have say in screening, we don't have say in any of it. So she brought it to us and she said, you need to move quick and you need to do something because people are looking. They're looking at the properties, and so you need to take some actions. And then she laid out what our best bets were. So what we can't do is say, no, you can't put any renewable energy in here. If we do that, they go straight to the state, and the state will say, based on our initiatives, we're gonna override you. You have no right as a township to prevent that, and they'll put it in, and they'll put it in based on state standards.
You say we can't say no?
Correct.
Is this Public Act 233
That's not right.
that allows this?
I
That's
agree.
wrong.
I didn't write that act, I agree.
So this is Public Act 233.
I believe that is the act that it falls under, but I don't have it written down.
Okay,
so-
because there was just a ruling in Otsego County by Judge Hunter. And the law firm that is representing Otsego County put out a TikTok or an Instagram message or something. And his ruling was that local government units, which we are not mandated to follow Public Act 233. It is not a mandate that we follow it.
That's ultimately why we're trying to get our setbacks and stuff that we want, because if the state says it, like our DB is 45 at the property line, the state's is 50 at your wall of the neighboring property.
Yep.
Their setbacks are like 10 feet, we want them 100 feet. We don't want you to open your window and be looking at a solar panel if we can avoid it.
No shit, we don't wanna look at windmills
But-
a year later either.
But if we don't
That's
have
why we're doing
anything on
this
the
now.
books, they go by the state
I
standard.
understand, and I appreciate that the Planning Commission has acted so quickly to bring this in front of the township.
But even if, according to what we've been told, even if we have this in place, if the company that's coming in doesn't like what we've written, they can circle back and go to the state, and the state can squash
And they can fight
our
us.
ordinance and
Well,
take
So-
it out of
that's
it. So,
that's under question.
We're in uncharted territory
Yeah.
with that right
Yeah.
now.
We're just trying
We
to,
out lawyers.
we're trying to protect the township the best we can. That's the
Well,
only purpose. for
I
this.
mean,
We
I
have
would
to-
suggest that you guys really follow that Otsego County lawsuit, because they're going after it.
I love that, that's great. None of us like that they're stripping away our ability to make it at a township level.
Could you start out by telling us an outline of what you'd like to, or what you're proposing?
Sure, I mean, does everybody have a copy of it?
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to read
I've
it,
got
so
a
it'd
copy
be
of
nice
the
to,
ordinance,
it'd be nice if
but
you
we don't have a map of the
Yeah.
location
give us
or
a
anything
highlight.
else.
Oh, they don't have
And
a
point of
location
order,
picked
sir,
yet,
I'm
that's the good
sorry,
news.
I don't mean to be
Oh.
rude, but we need a point of order. You know, people need to be called on, they need to wait their turns. I had my hand up for quite a while, and there's lots of
I'm
exchanges.
sorry, ma'am. I'm
So,
sorry.
if you could call point of order,
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright. You asked me to explain the entire document.
no, just give us a highlight of the changes you guys wanna make.
So there wasn't anything in place, so really what we did is we took what she recommended, based on what the state is, so she's done this with a bunch of different townships recently. She ran into an issue with this, she's being very proactive. So we took her recommendations, we went through all of them, we compared them to the state. She said that you have to balance, so you can't make this so egregious, you know, like, oh, 500 yards from the road. Then they'll just trump it and go straight to the state, and then they'll follow state protocol, and we're running in that situation. So what we did was make it significantly more difficult than what the state standards are. Pushed back, asked for a lot of, if they're going to put something in, we asked them to do, and I'll just pull it up in here, I gotta find it, it's gonna give me a second, a bunch of different testing, looking into the noise, looking into impacts on the environment, looking at water runoff, looking at and paying for anything to do with fire, or any emergency services. We asked them to put in place security 24/7 around any facility that was put in. So we added as many things as we could to make it as responsible as we could come up with. That was the goal. So all of our standards are more strict. I don't think there was not one that we did not go significantly more strict than what the state was, but not to a level where they would say, you guys are creating an environment where we can't operate, we can just trump you, go to the state, and then the state pushes us back, and then we end up with their requirements. Does that help?
Wait, could you clarify what you just said? So you said that we can put all of these roadblocks, let's call them, in place, or speed bumps.
Yep.
And
Not
if,
roadblocks.
yeah, if they just tell us to pound sand and go to the state comes in and then everything you've done is no longer valid?
If my understanding, so I can roll off based on what she told us, and correct me if anyone heard differently, was if the state, they go to the state and they say they are creating it so that it's impossible for us to do this, unreasonable requirements, then they can trump us. So she said you need to stay within reasonable requirements, but maybe not making it the most attractive option.
And so that little part right there is sort of vague, not that it's your fault or anything, but it's like there would have to be some sort of argument as to why they can't do it. And I don't know if that would be court related or, you know, official, how it would work. But that's a nebulous area, it seems like, for right now, unless it's
Very much.
happened somewhere in Michigan. I don't know.
It's starting to happen in different townships.
Yeah.
And there's some really big plants that are going in, and they're
Yeah.
doing some things that are,
Okay.
we don't want to happen here. Our
Right.
goal is to try to protect
Yeah.
the township, follow the laws, but do as much as we can to protect. Sir?
Should we put restrictions on them, like if their solar field is over here, their battery's gotta be 20 miles away over there?
There are restrictions for the battery sites and the size. I don't think there's, I don't think they're 20 miles, because we're not 20 miles.
That's a good way, isn't it?
I don't disagree with you, but there are things in place there where they can't have them on the same facility, was my understanding. They can have the batteries that are used, how did that work?
Well, we
They
got
won't have a battery facility on the same site as a solar facility. That was one thing that was put in there.
Yeah, maybe we put a restriction on them for that.
We're happy to look into any more and continue to push for whatever we can.
I'm Heather, I'm from NEMCOG also,
Oh,
and I
thank you.
have Denise on the phone, and she's willing to answer or help you answer anything.
Oh, thank
You're doing a
goodness.
fantastic job, by the way,
I'm
but
trying.
I wanted to let you know if you want her to talk.
Yes, can
Okay.
you just bring it up here?
Yep.
So Denise was our consultant that came in, and she helped us. She's been
Alright,
incredibly
Denise, you're
helpful.
sitting on the table and I'm leaving my phone with them.
Can you guys hear her?
Can everybody?
If
Yeah.
we're quiet, I think we probably can.
Okay, we'll all try to be quiet. Perfect. Do you want to make some comments, Denise, or do you want to wait for more questions? Or correct anything I said?
Nope, you're doing great. I want to answer the question, not a question, but the comment that, you know, we need to pay attention to the Otsego County case, and that's true. And I actually sent that, you know, via email because we need to watch that one. I mean, it doesn't completely mean that you don't have to address these renewable developers that are coming in. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't say, oh, it doesn't give you permission to not to say, oh, we're not going to allow it here. So again, we don't know the ramifications of what that means. Yes, we know, we already knew that the township didn't have to put in the same standards as the state. I mean, that's been the case since the law was adopted, is that, you know, you can have an ordinance that's more strict. You just run the risk of them not coming for local approval and just going to the state anyways. So one thing that the public needs to understand though is that, at least in my place to protect you, to have some standards, to be able to respond to a proposal that comes in right now. But we definitely are watching what's gonna happen. Is that gonna be appealed? What kind of precedent that's gonna set? We don't fully know yet. But we're definitely not ignoring it.
And Denise, is it fair to say that if that does go through, then we can look at, changing our requirements?
Absolutely. If this landscape changes, I mean, we can change these requirements. The thing is, this is looking bigger picture though than just this specific use. We still have something in state law that's been there since 2006 and was there actually in the law that predates the 2006 Zoning Enabling Act that basically says, you can't engage in exclusionary zoning, meaning unless you have a really good reason, you can't just zone a use out of your community without basically getting sued for that. So we have to walk a really fine line of saying, yep, we allow it, but make it just difficult enough to where maybe they're not gonna come there because you're being too strict. And I'm talking about any use, not just renewables, I'm talking about any use. So we still have that to contend with, that you have to walk that line and not engage in exclusionary zoning, but protect yourself. So that's basically why this planning commission is looking at this right now, so that you can say, yep, we are being accommodating, we're not engaging in exclusionary zoning, but we're still trying to protect ourselves. That ordinance is a whole lot more strict than what the state requires. So, which I know you already said. So there's a lot of issues in play right here. It's a very difficult issue for communities to deal with, and I think you're doing a good job with it.
Okay, I think we have another question.
Yeah, Pat Cooper again. So these battery storage facilities and solar fields and all this stuff would be put on private land that is leased from the owner? Is that how this would go, just like the cell phone tower?
Yep, that is usually the way it happens. There are cases where renewable developers come in and actually just buy the land, but most of them that I've seen, it's being leased. There's one that just got approved in Alcona County, and that I believe is all leased land. Usually it's a 30 or 40-year lease.
Okay, well, what if we were to take a position in Beaver Creek Township that put a special, that if people were to do this, if people were to lease to these companies, that they're subject to some sort of a special tax, which makes it unattractive for landowners to lease to them?
That question I don't think I can answer. That sounds like an attorney question.
Yeah, let me write that down.
It may be an angle to at least deter it. I mean, if you're leaving it wide open for people who have lots of acreage and don't live up here to make a pile of money, they're going to do it. But if they're subject to, some special use taxes.
I'm gonna guess that my gut says that we're not gonna be able to do that, because the state law actually specifies how these things have to be taxed. So, I mean, again, I'm not an attorney, and I don't deal with taxes, but my gut is saying, no, that's probably not gonna fly.
Well, there's probably an angle to everything, so, if you could take it forward at least and.
We'll at least ask.
and-
I mean,
and
again,
see
we're
if
open
there's
to
a-
anything here. We're here to try to help and stay proactive. Sir, you had a question?
Yeah.
Yes. Do these developers already have eyesights on Beaver Creek Township?
So I don't have total insight into that, but I have heard that there has been questions asked from some developers.
Let me rephrase that. Crawford County, they're looking at. What part of Crawford County, I don't know.
Can we at least make sure that they can't tie wind farms in with it?
I don't think we can.
Because everything here is what the state promotes, and they give discounts to people who do these things. That's why these people are doing it, they're profiting.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's profiting on this.
Except for the community. I mean, I moved from Lower Michigan up to here, okay?
So did I.
For
So did
one
I.
reason. The hardwood forest, the river, the lakes, the fishing, the outdoor sports. I don't wanna go looking at solar farms, and I damn sure don't wanna see a windmill. See too many of them everywhere I drive.
I understand. I know we addressed it to the extent, she told us we could address it.
Pardon?
I said we addressed it in here to the extent that she told us we could address it. If you read it over and have any questions or have any recommendations, like, we're open to it, we'll bring it to the attorney. If anybody has an idea like that to bring to the table, we're happy to look at it. We just gotta make sure we follow again the law, and make sure we don't put ourselves in a position where we're just gonna get superseded.
We just gotta keep fighting it somehow. That's
Yeah.
what we're trying to do today.
This is our first step.
Yep, trying to be proactive.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
again, I'm going back to this video I saw from this lawyer that's representing Otsego County, and after he explained what this ruling was, and he admitted that there was a lot more to it, but what he said was, if we want to put a $300 million remediation bond on this kind of a development, we can do it. So that's another thing, that you could put some sort of a remediation bond that they would have to fund if there was.
Yeah, you have that language in
Yeah,
there.
we do
already.
have that in there.
Where's
Okay.
that at, do you know? I just wanted to do a quick brush up on
I
it,
see.
to see what our numbers are.
Well, we don't have a number, so that's the thing,
Okay.
that's what.
Well, make it big.
Is that, you know,
Is the
you get
point.
a third-party estimate from two different, from at least two different sources, so you choose. So that number is to be decided depending on whatever the proposal that comes in, or whatever the development proposal
Right.
comes in. So it's basically just, it's wide open to say, yep, we can put a performance guarantee on this project. So, but we didn't put an upper, like a cap,
Right.
number on it.
And my last question, and I'll be quiet after this, what are the benefits to the tax base in Beaver Creek Township? I mean, if these companies come in, do they pay taxes to Beaver Creek?
I mean, everybody has to pay taxes.
Well,
To
but do
what
they?
level? Are you asking if we would be offering
I didn't get that.
exemptions?
Could you try again?
Like an abatement, tax abatement, you wouldn't
No,
offer
sir.
a tax abatement or anything like that.
No, nothing has ever been brought to me that recommended or was even discussed about any tax abatement or anything to entice someone to bring this into
They,
our area.
they do offer the local township large sums of money.
Has
The state
anyone offered?
does?
Has someone
State
offered it?
does? Who?
No, the companies,
The company does.
yes, yes,
That's part of what they have to do.
yes.
In the form of taxes?
No,
Yeah, how does that work? Could you walk me through that? Cause that's something I'm unfamiliar with, to be honest.
Are you asking me?
Yes, sorry. I'm looking at you if that helps.
So it depends on how it's approved. I don't know all the steps either. I know that if it's locally approved, there's a very large grant that can come to the community. If it's approved through the state, you also get money. So if a facility gets located in your township, you get money that goes into the, that goes to the township. But I can't say the percent, I don't have the documents open in front of me, so I don't know. I know if it's approved locally, it's in a grant fund, and then if it's approved through the state, it's actually spelled out in the state law how that money is transferred. I can't tell you exactly how much it is. It's a large sum. But then, yeah, I think there's taxes, personal property. So there's that. I don't know, that would be you gotta ask that question to your assessor, because they would have the guy who's on the actual tax dollars that come in that aren't, that's not a grant payment. And again, it would depend on the size of the facility. Some of these facilities can be
Oh, I'm sure.
1,900 acres, 2,000 acres,
They're not
so.
Well, I'm not a decision maker, just one person on it, but I have no interest in that money.
Well, that's
I can tell you that.
Just so you know, the feedback you're hearing and everything, this is every single community is in your same boat. I have yet to encounter one that was happy about this. So.
is there any kind of outreach being done to other surrounding communities to see how they're approaching this? Have you
Yeah, so
guys-
she's written this for multiple, areas, so again, she's what, northern Michigan?
Northeast Michigan.
Northeast Michigan,
So-
so she's written this for a lot of
So
townships.
Denise, is it?
Yes.
Denise, you're basically giving the same spiel to everybody on this?
Yeah.
And kind of leaving us to flounder as to how we're gonna handle it?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I'm sa-
Go ahead.
I mean, you're delivering a certain message, and it's consistent to every township around us.
Well,
But-
so it's not my message, it's.
Right,
Giving us our options. She's
Right.
laying out the same options to every township because she has to.
Yeah.
And, every township only has certain options. Now, the committee's opinions on it and then all of yours obviously influence that. Everyone's been heard. That's why we. came
maybe,
on the front
maybe
end
a
of this.
roundtable of planning commissions where you guys get together with the planning people from the other townships and you can sit around a table and find out what they're doing.
I've,
I can answer that question.
Well, point of order,
I'm gonna
she's
answer
not
her
done yet,
question.
so you're not up, right?
I'm gonna answer her question. I've already taken it to the county,
Take them what to the county?
the same thing, all this renewable energy.
Yeah, well, that's a county
No,
position.
to all the zonings in the county of Crawford County,
Okay,
all the townships, made them
I
aware.
don't know if they do roundtables. I have never been involved or invited to a roundtable. If that's something that's an option, or Denise has heard of it or recommends it, of course, we're open to the idea. Yes,
so it sounds like, what's her,
Denise.
Denise. Sounds like Denise is finding a middle road for us, so it's not too stringent that it's gonna force them to the state. You know, it's
but
giving us
not
a
make it very
guideline
enticing.
as far as we have some structure.
Yep.
So,
That's the
it
goal. The
sounds
whole
like
goal, and we set the
Denise has
parameters, so Denise
Denise
didn't
has
give us
done the
those.
footwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she didn't give us the parameters. We looked at the state ones.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a question like, you know, what's reasonable? 20 miles, is that reasonable? We asked some questions like that, and Denise could confirm that. She gave us what reasonable would be, or what her opinion was, or what she's seen, and then we as a team came up with what we wanted to put in here, and put those all in there.
Right,
Sir?
so,
Don't you,
One second,
It's not-
Denise.
yeah, let me just, it's not as though I have not looked at, I mean, I work kind of in this state realm, so it's not as if I don't know what the other communities in the state are doing. I can tell you, if you're following it, the ones that are being too restrictive, they're getting sued. So right now, DTE is suing a community because they were so restrictive that they put that, they needed local health department approval in order to get facility approval. Well, now that's going to court. So what my goal is to try to put something as protective in place for the community as possible to keep you out of court, because so far I haven't encountered one community that wants to be, you know, the test case in court. I mean, let Otsego County do it, that's fine. So it isn't as though we're not talking to the other communities. So it's not just, you know, Denise just didn't sit here and write up this thing and said, I'm gonna go push this all over the place. This was done through, basically through U of M has been studying this thing. We have a farmland preservation specialist that we work with at U of M that is working in the renewable energy sort of to help local communities get these standards in place. U of M, MSU both collaborated to come up with some draft standards. So what I did is I started there and said, okay, let's look at your draft standards and then let's make it, you know, fit better toward Northeast Michigan. So this wasn't done in a bubble. I work with, you know, 55 different communities across the region and in other regions of the state. I also, you know, do zoning outside of Northeast Michigan. So, So this isn't just something that just happened just now. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. Communities have been talking with each other. Alpena County communities, they're all talking with each other about, what standards are best. And in the end, they all, they're all a little bit different, but, they're all basically doing the same thing. They're all adopting these workable ordinances that are more restrictive than the state, to get themselves protected, and hoping that at some point this law will be repealed and things will go back to normal again.
Sir?
First up, I'd like to thank the lady on the phone. She seems to be the most knowledgeable person here on what's going on around here.
Absolutely.
And I would like to ask her, what would your advice be to us citizens of the community? What do you think we should do, and what can we do, and what powers do we have? Could you explain that to us, or guide us and help us through this?
Sure. So, input. So there's, I guess I have several things to say. So just so you know, I'm not a proponent of renewable energy developments because, I've been dealing with this for quite a few years and I see what a horrible impact they're having on communities. So, unfortunately, the only way this is going to be undone is to do things like what Otsego County is doing, or whatever, or I don't remember if it's a township or the county itself. That lawsuit, there's going to have to be lawsuits happening. If something gets approved, there's going to have to be citizens that sue to try to get it stopped. So, and no, you all don't have the money to do that, but I'm just saying that's one of the options. You can come and give input and say, we don't like this. What I'm finding is a lot of things, and I'm not talking about the ordinance they're looking at, I'm talking about when if a development gets proposed. I just went through one in Alpena County in Justin Township, 1,600-acre solar facility. 150 people or something showed up to the public hearing. None of them were for it. They all told their concerns. In the end, unfortunately, it had to be approved because otherwise they weren't going to get the things that the developer was offering the township, which was things like screening and stuff. They weren't going to get that if they went to the state for approval. So none of that input mattered. So what really matters is, unfortunately, what's happened at the state of Michigan. That's where you can have the most impact because it's the legislature that adopted this and it's the governor that signed it. So right now, the only way to change that is there's got to be a change in the people running our state.
Well,
Denise,
that's
can
a
I chime
given.
in one quick thing that you can do? I've
Yep.
seen them downstate. Put your signs out.
Yep.
Let your status be known on how we
Yep.
feel about renewable energy coming here. I know my father-in-law has a farm down in Clinton County and just south of St. John's. And
I've got
if you
the
drive
corner of
around there,
South Oak Road, no 27, I'll put a sign up.
okay, that would be great. So
Anybody wants to put a sign up there?
that's what I think that everybody can do is make your stance known. Publicize that this could happen. So we gotta think of us that live here and then people that travel up. The ones that travel up are probably gonna be more tempted. If they know what all their neighbors' stances are, I think people look at it differently. I don't think most of these people are terrible if they know all their neighbors are against it. They might think differently. I hope.
That's a great idea because one of the things we found, and I don't know if you realize this, but like last year, there was a group trying to repeal this law. They were trying to put it on the ballot. So they were going out to events and trying to get signatures, and nobody at that point, well, I did, but some of us did, but nobody really understood the impact of what this state law, what they did to the local communities. And so, boy, if we could have another petition drive to try to get this on the ballot, to get it repealed, I mean, that's another way to get it repealed. That would be wonderful. So there are things, it's a whole lot of work, it takes a whole lot of coordination, and I don't know if there's anybody doing that right now. It sort of feels like what I hear from a lot of the communities is that you just feel like you don't have a voice right now. And that's true. So there's got to be changes at the state. But like you just said, putting signs out and letting everybody know, hey, we all pretty much feel the same way about this. Eventually that filters its way up.
I gotta imagine that's also gonna deter developers that drive around. Sorry.
It's okay, two things. First thing, is there a campaign that already has signs, or can we print our own? Do we know, does anybody happen to know?
They are all over down by my father-in-law's house, and I think he has one.
Would you touch base with them and
Yeah, I
see
will
how we
definitely.
can get a bunch for this area?
A
Yeah.
volume buy.
I'll donate $100 towards the sign company to make signs.
Yeah, let me get that information,
All right.
so that we have it on who already has these signs or where we can get them from, and, maybe we could offer them up.
So,
Extra ones.
make sure and aim these things that, we don't want the developers here, but also, we're angry at the state, but make sure the township
We have
doesn't
one
get
more,
caught
sorry.
with that, because it's not the township's fault. You're just trying to do the best thing you can do, for your community, so make sure people understand the township's trying to protect you.
So I'm putting on my commissioner hat, county commissioner. So, the county, I'd say 18 months ago, we wrote a resolution to let the legislature know that we were opposed to this, the state having control. We wanted to control at the local level. I know a lot of other counties did, and it didn't seem to make a difference. So I'm in agreement with her. We need to continue stepping forward and using our voices and, just keep at it, keep chunking away at it.
I'm in full support of it. Anything we can do, and even outside of where I'm sitting here, but just as another citizen, I'm happy to donate to that cause.
Let's thank Denise.
Yeah. Denise, do you have anything else you wanna add?
No, I think I've said enough.
Do you guys have any other things you'd like to add? All right, thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Denise.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. I'll let you do that.
Sign up.
All right, let's see here. We have to close the public meeting. A motion to close the public meeting.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that closes that. Now we jump straight to the chapters 1 through 6 of the master plan. Or do we need to vote on? I think we need to vote on the draft.
Yeah.
I would vote.
Yes. All right, sorry guys, I'm still learning all the rules. So I motion for us to, do I need a motion for vote or just vote? A motion to vote on the draft of the Beaver Creek ordinance, to the renewable, to address renewable energy.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All in favor of approving the
Let's do a roll
ordinance?
call, just,
Roll
let's do a
call?
roll call, vote. Make-
Okay.
Go ahead.
Roll call vote to approve, an ordinance to amend Beaver Creek Township zoning ordinance to address renewable energy. We're voting on to approve this as amended, as it stands right now. Aye is yes,
Brent,
no, so we'll start with me, I'll say aye.
Brent, I'm gonna call out the names and you say yes.
Perfect.
Brent. Chris,
Yes.
Steve, yes. Rob,
Yes.
thank you.
Motion is passed. So that's all set. All right, next new business, chapters 1 through 6 of the master plan.
Invite the speaker in, maybe.
What was that?
Invite our speaker in.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
just gonna have you sit up here, 'cause it's easier.
Usually the name is under guest.
Well, I'm
Not used to
Heather,
this.
I will be handling the master plan stuff. Melissa was here and got your survey started. I couldn't tell you when she was here, and I apologize. Yeah, we have 40 plans we're working on, and Melissa has left NEMCOG now, so I have 40 plans I'm working on, and Denise has 25 zoning ordinances, which is why she wasn't here tonight in person. It's a lot of drive time, for both of us. I wanna give the public little information. NEMCOG covers an 11 county region. We are from Roscommon County to Mackinac County and eastward. So it's not, like, we're not a little group of people. We cover you all, and we cover very small townships, very rural townships. This is the first hall I've been in this summer that has air conditioning. If that gives you,
Really?
yeah, any idea,
Enjoy it.
yeah, so,
You're welcome.
yeah, I am enjoying it, it's great. I actually feel professional dressed tonight. And I apologize, when I walked in, I did not introduce myself, so you would have known that I had Denise on the phone. But that being said, we 100% at NEMCOG, we were set up 50 plus years ago by the government to do planning and protect little rural areas of Michigan. We're not out to screw you, we're out to protect you. That being said, Kim and I had talked, and you guys got this Michigan grant to update everything, bring you back where you needed to be. And that's what we're covering tonight. We're covering 6 chapters of that master plan. There's not a lot that you guys are gonna say, oh, I want that change to say this, because these are like facts. This is why you plan. It's your socio data that tells you your population, your income. You can't change that. Yes, it's 23 data because that's the last data put out. The next data will appear in December. I can't say that we won't update it. It depends on where we are at in your plan. If we are already to the point where we're gonna send you guys out for review, we don't wanna hold it up and update that data. Because it could take another 10 hours to pull those numbers, because the census site, really bad. Just because I pulled the data for that community, your neighboring community yesterday, doesn't mean those tables are the same today. Or where you find that same information. That's how bad that site is. Pull my hair out of my head. So, yes, dear.
Can you tell me how many total chapters are there in the
In a
plan?
master plan, so there used to be 8 total chapters.
Okay.
You had introduction and history, socioeconomic data, community services, natural resources, existing land use, input and goals, and usually future land use would have been covered with that, and then your adoption. Because of this MSHDA grant, they want a deep dive into housing. We already do. Any NEMCOG plan, you can go back 20 years ago, we already covered everything MSHDA wanted, but to CYA ourselves and you as a community, we pulled it out and put it in our own chapter.
Okay.
And in that chapter, it's chapter 5 now, you will see where we broke down any available properties you guys have. That was May. I pulled those numbers in May. How do I know that? Because after looking at your housing that was for sale, I listed my house. If I can sell it, I can get what I owe and pay off all our debt, which would be great, and I don't need a 5-bedroom house anymore. And I just remember how that conversation, like I was pulling up, like, honey, look at this house. It doesn't need all the work ours does. Not that we're moving down here, we're gonna build next, because we owned a lot. But anyway, so that data was pulled in May, so you can look at it and be like, I don't know where she found those houses, there's those numbers, they don't exist anymore. Or you could be like, oh wait, there's way more on the market because the housing slowed down. So the for sale data, it's just to give you an idea. The construction cost data, that is very, very accurate. And what all of that data entails, the conclusion, no one makes enough money to afford housing. Your average American family nationwide does not make enough money to afford what the federal government says is 30% of your median income. That 30% needs to encompass your mortgage or rent, insurance, taxes, and utilities. I don't know about you, but my electric bill runs over $400. There is absolutely no way that's a house. 10, 15 years ago, that was a good house payment. So you can't, if you're at the end of your 30-year mortgage, it's just insane to look at prices now. My kids, well, one will own a house, but he's single and he's just screwed with money. But the rest of them, I don't look for them to build houses or own houses anywhere close. And I have 9 children, so.
9 children.
Yeah, and we don't need 5 bedrooms anymore because we only have 1 lot at home, so.
And rent is high too.
Yeah, it's
higher than a mortgage.
Yeah. But,
Is this on our website?
It is not, because these are just draft chapters.
Okay.
When it goes out for review and we have the rest of the chapters finished, yes, there will be an electronic copy for review, because it has 6 to 3 days to receive community comments, public
Okay.
input, and then we'll have a public hearing for that as well. One thing I wanted to ask you, because you all are here, and I don't think you probably did, there's a public input survey that is open for Beaver Creek residents right now. You could probably find information for that on the website. Am I
Yeah,
right,
it's
Kim?
out
Is
there
Kim
somewhere.
here? I'm
No,
not-
Kim's not here.
Okay, that makes sense why I don't know who Kim is. Yes,
So we had tried that,
Okay.
survey, a couple months ago, a while back, and it wasn't working, so is
Okay.
it updated now? That we can get to it?
give me till like 10 o'clock tonight, because I
Uh-huh.
don't know how long I'll be here. And I have an over an hour drive home, but
Yep.
I will go home and make sure that the link is working properly.
Okay.
Because you're right, the last activity was, a while back on it.
Yeah, so it's the township website, you said?
Yep, the township website should have a posting for it. I don't have the flyer with me, or I'd give it to you.
I was gonna say, we had a flyer that had a little,
Yep, it
QR
should have a
code.
QR code on it,
Yeah.
and the website link should be there
Yeah,
also.
it really wasn't rolled out very well by our
Well,
township.
It also, if Melissa was here in March, that's right when the ice storm hit. And a lot of our communities dropped the ball on it because they were all worried about cleanup. My community included, and I'm not, well, all of Northeast, Otsego County was hit hard, Montmorency County was hit hard. Alpena County was hit hard. Alpena rolled out at the same time, and to be completely honest, they have less than 400 respondents, and that is a countywide plan.
Mhm.
They're looking for over almost 3,000 respondents.
Was
So-
that not put on our, weren't they gonna put it on like a couple Facebook pages, and then it was gonna be put on a website?
Well, we didn't get it until June, because we
Yeah.
had a meeting in May, because it canceled in March. 'cause of
Okay,
the ice
so
storm.
that's,
Was it
alright,
put out
that's
to
where
the
we're at,
website?
yep,
we've
okay.
only
I
had,
believe so.
we've only had 20 responses, I think we were looking for 100.
Was it
You
put on
are
Facebook?
looking for 127, I believe.
I don't think
No,
we
we
have a
have plenty.
Facebook page.
No, they said we did, I remember sitting here and them
There are
saying,
advocates, but I don't think the township has an official
Okay.
Facebook page.
alright.
But any,
I don't
like,
have Facebook, so sorry my ignorance.
You
there.
should join.
but
Did we
anyone
put
can
up
put it
our
on their
signage?
Facebook page and
Yeah.
post it and share it. It's a public input, so you spread the word however you want. I mean, I already heard you, I've been sitting there back there listening, I listen, I'm just who I am. But you have your own Facebook page, and I'm hoping you've promoted it, and,
I have not. I
Okay.
think it's the township's responsibility to promote this survey.
well, you promoted people coming for tonight, and you wanted, so I would encourage, if you want input, especially for anything that they're doing in the master plan, we need to get our friends and relatives to do the survey. If it's on a Facebook page, if it's on a website, just simply saying, hey, guys, did you see this is out there? Is simple, easy task to do. Yes, ma'am,
Can we,
then I'll continue here.
it's more to the planning commission, can we repost it? Can somebody repost it so that we can start sharing it?
Absolutely, I didn't realize that it wasn't up there, when we originally had this
It
meeting.
was up there,
in
that's how we
June.
knew,
Yeah.
it's just that it wasn't working at the time.
And
Okay.
it's very
Yeah,
hard
well,
to
in June,
find.
When we had this meeting, it was gonna go there were gonna be QR codes at the trash facility, it was gonna be advertised. So
None of
my
that
understanding
happened.
was that was happening, now that you bring it up, I haven't seen it at the trash facility, I haven't seen that advertised.
So we can reset and start again.
Yeah, when
Oh,
does
yeah.
it end?
It doesn't, if it has an end date on it, ignore it, I will take it off.
Okay, thank you.
Because of the ice storm and everything being delayed in it, I don't care what anybody says, the ice storm's not over, the
Yeah,
cleanup's not
two
over,
board
people
members
aren't
here.
focused
We're not
on
saying
doing
anything about
anything but
Just sit there.
surviving and figuring stuff
Yeah.
out, yes.
Take
We are having a
Take
township
notes. That's right.
picnic this weekend.
I'm sorry, it's 3 board
We are gonna
members.
print a bunch of them off so people can fill them out.
Perfect,
While they're here
so
at the
you
picnic.
totally want me to come pick up paper surveys and enter them.
Potentially.
Yes,
We just wanna get you to that 127.
yeah, yeah.
So if it's paper,
That's the way.
Yeah, it's paper,
Electronic,
electronic, and you
I
can
mean-
get more than 127, there's
Yeah.
nothing stopping that, I mean, Mullet Township, they were supposed to be done beginning of May, and she's like, can we just leave it open all summer? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that, she's like, you're right, the people coming up to the lakes wanna voice their input, they're taxpayers.
That's right.
I'm like, that's fantastic, I'm glad that you're still pushing it, she's like, yeah, we're doing it as much as we can.
Okay, so just as long as you're a taxpayer, you don't have to be a resident.
Well, no, if you're paying taxes in your township, if you own land, then you should have input.
Okay, well, that's the
can see-
clarification I wanted, I wasn't
I
sure.
believe you can see in that survey, we went through all the questions.
Yeah,
Did
and
it
it-
outline, it
Yep.
outlines if
Yeah.
you're.
And it's probably-
Yeah, I went to take the survey and I couldn't open the link, so, you
It's
know.
great feedback, so she'll get that fixed tonight.
Yep.
We will get, I didn't realize that stuff wasn't going out there.
Yeah, how would
Did
you know?
address that?
Well, we haven't, like I said, we've gotten, I think, 20 responses.
Yep, that's what you're
As
at.
of yet,
Whose
so.
responsibility is that to get that out there?
The board.
I just wanna make sure it's not mine and I was supposed to.
Not yours.
No, it's just kinda anybody's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't
mean, we
think
have,
anybody
there's
specifically-
just private
Steve, why don't you
citizens
take
and
that
stuff.
forward to the
Me on a
board?
computer?
Pardon me?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's just anybody can do it, there's,
Yeah.
it's
Do we
no
have the QR code?
pure, simple.
I believe there's one out front.
Well, there's also a web link I'm trying to create now.
Okay.
If you look underneath the QR code,
Well, we can see if
it
it's.
says
Don't raise your hand and
surveymonkey.com,
say, "I'll take it forward,"
and then it
and
has a
sit there.
/r/Beaver
Dumbasses.
Creek. So you don't really have to do
To
that.
answer your
You can
question,
type in
yes,
the
we'll keep it
URL.
open.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I'm not in
And
any hurry
yes,
to close
we're
it.
gonna do anything we can do to get as many, again, I don't wanna sit here and read this and make changes without any feedback from people.
Yeah.
That seems
Well, and this
wrong.
stuff isn't
So any
gonna
feedback you could
change.
give us is greatly appreciated, cause that can shape how we adjust.
You gotta do your job the best that you're capable of doing. So
Yeah.
far, you're doing good.
Well, and the next time you see
Appreciate
me is when we will have survey results. Because that's when we decide what we're gonna do, how we're gonna plan.
Perfect.
Like this core stuff we're looking at tonight, literally is your core stuff, it's how
Just
your
background.
township, yeah, it's just background. So, we'll start, so the first page, literally is just your first page on what is planning. Then you have your location of where you're at, the status of planning in Michigan. By page 3, you're already into socioeconomic data. You've declined by
Oh, I don't need that.
14%, since 2000. That's,
What's interesting, I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, is 223 people in this township, that's a lot.
yeah,
I mean,
it
14%
is.
seems something, but 223 people,
Well, and then
that's
you
a
think
lot.
about it, you know, probably 6 months ago, you couldn't find a house for sale. Everything was occupied. So I had a comment at a meeting last night, somebody said, well, if we wait 10 years, baby boomers are gonna be dying off and there'll be houses. No, because
Sure.
the people getting into their 60s and 70s is a larger group of people. That, it's not what they think, you know, and people aren't having 10, you know, they're not having 9 kids like I did, they're having 1 if they're having any, and they still want that 3 to 4 bedroom house. So your baby boomer isn't moving out of the house because they're not gonna go pay $2,000 for rent unless they medically have to leave the facility. So they're sitting on a 3-4 bedroom house. The people with no kids are sitting on a 3-4 bedroom house in their 30s and 40s because a lot of them don't have kids. So anybody with children is scrambling to find anything and there's nothing out there. And if you're like me and your house was built in 1902, it's not compatible or accessible. So it doesn't matter what these population numbers say, there's still not the availability of things like
So-
people think.
So I don't understand, I mean, if you as NEMCOG have recognized the housing crisis up here, and you have a certain degree of influence, why are we talking about solar field acreage instead of planned housing communities?
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
that's to me, not to her, so we're talking about, and as we discussed at the beginning, that came up because they were looking at the area. That's why we brought it up. We brought it up because they want to put them in Crawford County.
Yeah.
If we did nothing, they would be here. So we did something.
And
We
it's,
took our steps. So these are 2 separate things. We take our proactive steps to everything we can do within our legal abilities with the solar. And now we're looking at the housing because we were able to get a grant to have NCOG come in and look at our entire master plan and help us modernize it and update it to reflect it. So it's not so much of one or the other. It's, we had no choice on renewable energy. Otherwise, all of us would be leaving us wide open for things to happen. And then if you sent me hate mail, I would understand. So we did something there and now we're doing something on housing.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's also my understanding that there's a lot of college students up here that cannot find apartments or housing. So I'd rather see that go in instead of a solar farm.
Well, that's,
I
and,
agree.
look at it this way. You can't have eggs in your refrigerator if you don't have butter. You have to have everything. We have everything. I was in economic development before I was here. Childcare, housing, jobs, energy are all issues nationwide. It is not statewide, it is not Northeast Michigan, it is nationwide. And why do I compare it to a fridge? Because you have to have everything in there, you can't feed everybody. So we have to have everything accounted for. We have to have the energy, we have to have the housing for the college students. It's not just college students, it's, you gotta get the baby boomers out of their places. They ain't going though. They're a stubborn group of people, but that's okay. My father is one and I just shake him, but that's all right. Cause what are you gonna do?
Nothing.
But that being said, we have to cover all of our bases, and that's why we need the public input. We need the public input so that we make sure your goals are headed in the right way, so that college apartments can come in easier without jumping through hoops to make them cheaper and affordable for those young kids.
Right.
Even though those young kids are making 3 times what I did when I started out, but that's okay.
A lot of that's addressed in the survey, I know people couldn't access it,
Yeah.
but we went through and picked questions.
Okay,
She gave us lists, like, here's 60
Yeah.
questions for this topic, and we picked the questions that would give us the most insight into what people want in the township.
great.
Yep.
What do you guys want? What do you wanna see? What do you want development to look like? If there are companies that come in, what type? It's all kinds of really good stuff.
It sounds like really good stuff. I would just like to see the township board take the initiative to really get the communication out, not only to the residents, but to the taxpayers. I mean, they have the bully pulpit. They
Well,
should be
that's why
doing
we-
more than just mentioning it at a board meeting.
That's why we have the monthly meetings.
No, but you gotta do more than that. You got taxpayers that don't even live up here. You have to do more than just sit at a desk, at a table once a month and say, oh, take this survey.
So can we just mail these to everybody?
Yeah, why can't
How
you
many
do a
residents do we
mailing or
have?
something?
Well, so, let me get back
That
to you on
wasn't-
that.
Okay.
Possibly.
Because there's something in the grant, and we are fighting with Mishta right now on the admin fees that we were told could be used to pay planning commission members for working on this plan. They're now saying can only be used for public input promotion. When Denise last talked to the guy, he gave her a completely different answer. So she's tried to clarify and now he's not responding yet. So NEMCOG is going to be taking it up with Mishta as a whole. We may get the state legislature involved because we have communities that literally, their planning commission met once a year to set a schedule and then never again. And now they're meeting like 12 times to update everything because we told them you could use this money to pay your people because there were no rules. So, I don't know what your contract exactly was for with us, and that's why I say just hold off. I will get Kim numbers, because if there is more than $5,000, which was 5% of that grant, then yes, we could use $2,000 to put a flyer in everybody's mailbox. Does that mean it's gonna get you more response? It hasn't in other communities.
Okay.
The
I'm the one that likes mailers.
Yep, and that's the funny thing, Village of Hillman, all they do is put it on their Facebook page. Overnight, over 100. They have a better response rate than any community we would deal with, and we don't understand why. City of Harrisville, same thing. No clue why, but it's that word of mouth that, okay, I see it, let's get other people involved. So does it work?
Yeah, I'm on
Okay.
number 6 right
So
now.
it must have been SurveyMonkey, yeah.
I'm just making
SurveyMonkey
sure
had
it
a
works
hang
so I
up
can
at
tell
one
you
point,
that.
so, that's probably why it was not working, but it is back working. Yeah, you got flyers and now it's working. Perfect, so I don't have to fix that tonight. Okay, so, page 4, it shows your population on a graph, age distribution. You're pretty standard. Obviously, you don't have as many school-age children as a state, you actually, your 25 to 34 is higher than the state and the county, but I was surprised like your 20 to 24 wasn't with Kirtland being right there. I kind of
Well-
thought you'd have a higher college.
It's housing.
Kirtland's outside of Beaver Creek too.
Yeah, but even just because they have to live nearby, I was kind of expecting to have a higher,
I think that's to his point, there's no housing really
Yeah.
for college
Yeah.
students in, so.
I worked there.
oh, you work there,
Yes, so, with Kirtland, we have, we're basically a commuter college.
okay.
And with, especially since the pandemic, we have a lot more online enrollment, and so there's that. But we
Okay.
have done some housing, but I will tell you, go back to the housing question, not to
Mhm.
deter too much, housing, or construction costs are just,
Oh, yeah, I
Obscene.
know, I outline
and
it.
for,
It's-
and for people to make money, like,
Yeah.
people who wanna
Yep.
invest in them, the only, I gotta incentivize them to wanna build, cause
Yep.
that takes a lot
You're not
longer
gonna get it
to turn
otherwise,
revenue,
so.
so.
Then there's just a graph for age, your median age, you're not as high as most of our communities. I have median age for some communities that's over 60, and you guys are at 46, which is fantastic, because you try and do planning with a group of median age people at 60, it's not an easy task, because they're not looking at, they're looking at what they would want, and they don't want anything. Well, you gotta attract people, or your area's dying. It's hard. School enrollment, 53% of your students are considered economically disadvantaged, which means they are below the poverty line. And that, even though free and reduced lunch was, everybody had free lunches the last couple of years in the state, that still is that number. You still have to fill out those forms in the school. So that's where you're 53, which again, is actually quite low. Most of the communities I deal with are in the high 60s and the 70% range. Yeah, we have some communities that are pushing 80. We go over to Greenwood Township, which is northern Oscoda County, so it hits Fairview, Luzerne, Mayo, and Joburg school districts. They are way high. And if you compare the elementary students to the high school students, you usually have a 20% difference because daycare costs. So if you can't afford daycare, only one parent works. When you get to high school students are working to help pay the bills that everybody was behind on. Now both parents are working. It's very sad. These are depressing chapters. And we're not even to housing. Educational attainment, it's nothing really, I mean, it's just what it is.
We're actually pretty good.
Yeah,
19%.
you're pretty good on that.
Mhm.
Income, you're about where I see all communities. Median household was 58, median family is 65. Difference between a household and a family, family means children and a married couple. Household could be any makeup. It could be a single dad, it could be dad and son, but they're 40 and 65, it could be anything. Married couple means without children. Median non-family, I don't really understand what that means per se. It's kind of interesting because you already defined it under household, so they just make up numbers, some stuff on the census. It's
Probably
fine.
like other.
Yeah, just other. Let's go with other, and then per capita income is $30,000, which is much higher than some of the communities in the area. Where does that money come from? You actually have 69% of it coming from earnings, which is awesome. But that, again, your median age is 46 and not 60, so it's not all retirement. Unemployment numbers, I mean, they kind of are what they are. We all know COVID was much higher. Now we're down half of what we were then. Where you work, basically your employment industries, there's nothing. You guys know where people are employed around here, but we have to put it in plan. SEV information, you don't have any agricultural land, which is neat. But you can watch that residential number go from 62,000 to almost 100,000, or actually,
Maybe
that's
we don't
100
have
million.
any agricultural.
You have no parcels that are classified as agricultural, or being taxed and receiving,
Okay, just, we might have it zoned that way, it's just not.
it's
Okay.
not tax classification, you're not receiving any tax agricultural land, meaning they're making a profit
Okay.
and you're receiving money.
Getting me confused there for a second.
Yeah. But, but if they're not big commercial farms, you're not collecting money.
Right.
If you were in pot farm country, you'd see, or soybean land, yeah, they have numbers there. Residential, yeah, again, you went up 30 million since 2019, and we will add the 2025 numbers came out, and I did make a note for, Ethan to add that, he hasn't gotten around to all of them. Which I'm sure that residential will go up even higher, because home values have not came down. What are you wowing over?
Well, because I moved here in 2020,
Oh,
and I see the SEV shooting up, and that's why my taxes have gone way up.
yeah, that's, in 2020, we sold our,
That's how it works.
we sold one house because we were renting it, it was a little house that we had. And we didn't make a lot of money. And we kinda we still had 6 kids at home. And we were like, well, we can't do our own, so, you know, we're good, whatever, we're gonna use this to pay on our house. Great. Right now, my house, they quoted me almost 4 times what I paid for it. That's insanity. That's why it's on the market.
Yep.
So, yeah, residential just, I mean, that's your SEV. So now we're into chapter 3, which is community services and facilities, and this is where you're gonna have to do a little bit of reading and tell me if I'm right, wrong, indifferent. The first thing to start with is township government. I'm pretty confident I'm right, you just have a supervisor, clerk, treasurer, and 2 trustees, you don't have 4 trustees or anything crazy like that, right? Okay. That one, 5-member planning commission, I see that, 3-member zoning board of appeals, which you have if you have 5. Water supply. Anything incorrect under that section?
We do not have another water authority with Greeley Township now.
You do have one?
Yes,
Okay. So you have an agreement with Grayling Water Authority, is that,
it's Beaver Creek and Greeley Township.
okay. Okay, recycling and solid waste, just the transfer station is your,
Yes.
okay. Utilities, consumers is 95% of your township is what I was able to find.
Yep.
I don't know if it's 95, but it seems like it's most.
We have the great notes on these.
Road section was written by Nico. If you guys don't know who Nico is, he's our transportation guy. He actually goes out and rides all of the roads with the county guys when the state says we need you, this county needs to be done this year, and he rates them. So he knows every road in every county township. So I just said, here you go. If he's wrong, please tell me, because I love to tell the man when he's wrong.
Pole 27 from Fletcher down to Higgins Lake Drive.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
bounce your cylinders loose.
Oh, yeah.
And that's if it's on a good day.
27 in Fletcher, road of 10 million patches.
They repaint that.
He's got the air and stuff in there. Again, he made sure everything is still what it is. Schools, libraries, museums. I don't think, now, because you're the Kirtland dude, if I've got anything wrong with Kirtland, please let me know, because Kirtland is kind of a pain, with the University Center in Gaylord, which is where my office is, but it has 7 different names, and you never know what, I always get confused on what we're calling things there, but.
So the one side where you're at is the University Center currently, the other side's called Kirtland MTech.
So it's okay, so it's like split down the middle hallway.
Yes, so if you go down, if you go in front doors to the right,
Yeah,
that's the Kirtland side. If you
Okay.
go left, it's University, that's the county side. We're looking at, because the whole point
so
of that
that's why
thing
it
has
has 2
changed.
names.
Yeah, it was 2 separate, kind of like entities.
Yeah.
It's now, because the original use is kind of, is being American Centers long gone. So we're working on combining that.
Gotcha. Cause
There-
yeah, we
there's
sit in
more
the
stuff
office
that
and we're
goes
like,
in.
what are we called? What is this building? So,
MTech.
yeah, well, that's just an office, so. That I'm not even driving to at the moment, cause I'm just driving everywhere else. Yeah, if you guys see anything there that's like, this isn't good. Cause you're actually my only Crawford County plan, which is kind of funny. Iosco County, I have everybody, pretty much.
The, like, with the University Center, these partnerships are not correct.
Okay, tell me what you're on, or don't you know?
Let's see, that actually lease office space up there, there's Central's not there, Davenport's not there, Madonna's not there.
No, Madonna's got a brand new banner. When I walked down the hall yesterday.
Okay, I'll have to verify that.
Okay.
Spring Arbor, I don't think they have anything up there, North Central is not in there, they have their own facility.
Okay.
And Michigan State is not that site, they moved, they're closer to the, across the street. I think, you know, where the office buildings are, where the old court stuff is across, I think they're back in there.
Okay. They used, years ago, Michigan State stuff was all
Yep.
back there.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, but Madonna, I noticed, cause when I walked down the hall Monday, I'm like, that is a brand new banner, neat.
And I can't remember, somebody though, I'll have to we just talked about this, like yesterday, I'll have to verify, cause I think somebody rents space but doesn't necessarily use it,
Gotcha.
so.
Okay, cemeteries, are those correct?
Yep.
Okay. Public safety,
Seems correct.
here's a question, do you have a emergency shelter building?
We're sitting in it.
Does it have generator power?
No.
Okay. I'm asking because during the ice storm, I ran the emergency shelter in Montmorency County that served, parts of Alpena and Presque Isle counties as well. Little backstory to that, my husband used to be the township supervisor in Albert Township. Doug, who is the director of NEMCOG, is our fire chief. The 3 years the two of them were there together, they tried to get the board to get a generator and either approach the school or go to the Catholic church, who had showers and classrooms and a great big hall, the biggest hall in town, with a commercial kitchen to set up an emergency shelter, and the board turned them down because, oh, it's never gonna happen here. So the first phone call Doug made that night as he's trying to clear roads and get people to safety was to me to say, hey, would your priest let us do this? I said, we've been here since 10 a.m. I declared it on Facebook. He said, no, we wanna do it via Red Cross. Go ahead. So for 2 weeks, we ran the only shelter. We did not have a generator, but because we were declared and at that point we hadn't lost power, as soon as we lost power, they restored it and made sure that our trunk line was intact to keep us going. So that's why I asked. Right before the storm, I had sat in Alpena County communities that were declared shelters that had no generator power, that were not able to be used during the storm.
Why would we address that here? Would that come
I'm
up
literally
later?
going to include that in the public safety, right under,
I can't remember, was there anything on that in the survey? You guys just took it?
nope, cause those were not survey questions at that
Right.
point.
Okay.
Those were before the storm and
Seems like
before.
those would be good to add.
Yep, that's why I'm, yeah. Well, and it would be more of an educational question at that point in the survey, it'd be like, hey, do you know where your emergency shelter is? But we want, our big push, especially with the FEMA funding coming through, is to try and get more of it, to get these actual, where you have generators, where you have shower access. So Red Cross doesn't have to come in and bring mobile showers. You have a shed that has your cots in it. Maybe they're never used, maybe they deteriorate and rot out, but they're there, you know, let's grab some of that funding so we have it. Yeah, it's kind of near and dear to my heart if you can't tell, sorry.
Why not just bring the Red Cross in?
Because they take time to get here. And I'll tell you right now, Red Cross was 2 days behind the Salvation Army. And you don't wanna know when the National Guard showed up or anything to that effect.
Glad it's being addressed.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people in this township though have their own generators.
Well, a lot of
So-
people do now, in Albert Township, but again, you look at that income, we housed over 50 people, we housed people on the outskirts of Hillman that hit Alpena County that could not get into the city. And actually the city didn't have 24-hour shelters set up. And Presque Isle County, so southern Onaway, Alice Township, we ended up with some of their residents for the same fact. The income could not support them going to buy a generator and getting anywhere. That was, you know. Yep.
Medical facilities, I think that might be a little off.
Yeah, it always is because they keep changing their dang names, so tell me what we are.
So that first paragraph's correct, right? Three years for that. Oh wait, no, Munson's in there. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I was thinking Munson would come before.
I was gonna say, I didn't think you guys,
Patowski?
well, it's triage levels.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Munson is rated higher than Patowski, if I'm correct. Do you know what you're looking, okay. I think that's why it's listed like that. But I didn't think you had any My Michigan hospitals.
No.
Cause that's what I'm dealing with on the other side of this. Well, you guys are kind of central. I deal with that in Alcona and I hospital. Public lands, public facilities, and recreation.
66%.
Actually, that's lower than I thought.
Really?
I thought we were over 70%.
That's county.
Okay, yeah.
County's 75% I think.
Western Canton?
Out by Jellystone.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
For the horseback riders, campground.
I didn't know there was one.
So that all looks good there?
Mm-hmm.
So far.
Then we're into natural resources. Now this entire chapter, if you can't sleep tonight, read this chapter. Otherwise, I would just flip through it and trust us to proofread it, because it's pretty boring and it describes your wetlands map, your land cover map, it describes your forest, your soils, sand, yeah, rocks,
We have soil?
yeah, it's.
We have sand.
And I'm being really nice, I'm glad I wrote it, it drives me nuts straight, it's so boring. And Denise is the exact opposite, she's a geologist, she went to school for that. She
God,
goes,
it's
"Oh,
so
I love it.
expensive,
It's so
isn't
much
it?"
fun." Yeah, she
I
goes,
got about that much.
You gotta have them.
Yeah,
It's
we-
like auditors, I'm an accountant, but
Oh, there you go.
auditing, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we have to state it because we want it in there for building setbacks and stuff, but it's a boring chapter.
The only thing is the Beaver Creek Park, it says it can accommodate 100 vehicles, that seems a bit high.
You guys are doing a rec plan also, right? Okay, that will be looked at and corrected if need be.
I mean, I've never counted how many parking spots are out there, but it's
Well, there's a lot openly.
We can park anywhere.
Well,
Same
and
as
that's,
soil.
yeah, but that's, when they do the rec plan and they come down and they do like the park assessment, there's certain rules to that.
Okay.
Nico usually comes down and
No
does
big
that.
deal, just noticed
Yep.
it.
I made a note so that he makes sure it's correct. Yeah, land cover, it should, you got a lot of undeveloped state land.
State land.
Shrubs and just,
So we're gonna end up to be a township of state land and solar fields, it sounds like.
Maybe even some battery storage.
Pardon me?
I said maybe even some battery storage.
Yeah,
And windmills.
and windmills,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't forget that.
your contamination sites, those are fun, those are from Eagle. They may or may not be in the process of being cleaned up, they're just what they, again, like this is just a chapter again of facts, it's just what it is. Oil and gas wells, the same type of thing. Even though they say they may be active in the color dots, they may also be capped wells that aren't producing at the moment, because oil and gas has increased substantially in Michigan.
What are the underground storage tanks?
Those would be like old gas stations. Yep. And what's really funny is, think back to like your youth, and you're probably much younger than I am, but I can drive downtown Gaylord and tell you what used to be gas stations, or what used to have a gas pump. Or drive through your little, Spar. Spar is a perfect, if you don't know what Spar is, it's by Treetops. They used to have gas in Spar. There used to be another one farther down on Spar Road that was a little party store that had gas stations. Those don't exist anymore, but they have underground storage tanks. Old farms used to have a storage tank for gas. So those can all be part of that.
So they don't have to pull those out when they close the station? They just leave them there to deteriorate? And
If they keep ownership, they
do
don't have to do
drain
anything.
them? Anything?
If they keep ownership, they don't have to do anything. And
Even
a
for
lot of
operations?
times they're just sold, or
Yeah.
a new family member takes
Nobody
over.
knows that they were there. They-
Yep.
Can we write anything in? Cause I know we wrote in, actually, so you guys know, in case you don't read the entire thing, we wrote in about decommissioning if one was here, that certain things had to be done if it was
You can do
decommissioned.
that,
Can we do that for like
You
these
would do
things
that in
too?
your zoning.
Okay.
Yep, you would put that in the zoning, with Denise. So that's also, you know where these sites are, and you can put, when a gas, so under commercial gas stations, you could include in the zoning then that if it is
Close.
no longer, it's closed down, they have to remove and clean. Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not.
I would think that
I'm
would be
shocked
like
that
a-
that's not in there, like.
Well, and that's
we
what I
just
mean,
leave
these are
in the
probably
ground to the-
old tanks,
Yeah.
like,
Well, that's my bigger concern is potentially have leaked whatever was in them.
yep,
Water
and that's where that
down.
contamination in the ground and it's contamination from the storage, and Eagle will go after it and get it cleaned up. But it's usually at that change of ownership, it's, otherwise it's just sitting there.
Sure.
I believe it was in Colorado, they had a problem with a bunch of mining and stuff. And what they did is they put in a thing to where all the property owners that own these old mines had to donate a portion of their taxes every year
Oh, yeah.
toward reclamation.
Yeah, Eagle, and that's,
So,
Eagle will get the
yeah,
funds
you can
out
put a
of the owners.
reclamation tax on
Yep.
somebody who's got these tanks.
Yep.
And basically tax them into getting them removed.
Now, going back to the storage tank, Riley's Country Store, does that say the tanks have been removed?
What did you call it that they put in?
Riley's Country Store, total of active tanks was they have 2 tanks, they are not active.
They should, if I get the papers that they were removed,
Well, you can take it to Eagle.
Never heard of it.
Have
They
they,
were
you're
removed.
saying they've been removed?
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh, and they're still showing that they're.
yeah,
yeah, and so, this is how I'm gonna explain this. I don't know, because it's just an Eagle chart
okay,
that they put out. If it's where they've cleaned up tanks, they've removed tanks, I don't know how you get off the list.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, and I don't know if, I have a couple friends, or I have one friend who works for Eagle, but I don't know that she can even answer that question.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I noticed a lot of them aren't in our district, our township.
Yeah, well,
on
Okay.
these.
oh, they're not.
most.
Well, Crawford County Transit Authority, that's on North Down River.
Yeah, that one's not.
Miller Equipment, Milliken Road.
Hey, tell me okay, so Crawford County, I like to tell Ethan when he's wrong. Ethan pulls all my data, which
So
is
let's
Denise's
just start from
son.
the top one.
Okay,
McMillan Conference Center, that is,
Yeah.
right?
okay.
Skyline.
Skyline is. Grayling Army Field. I mean,
That wouldn't be us.
That would be
Well,
the
but it's on-
airfield in town.
oh, there's probably some of the property.
Well, that's what
on
I'm
there.
wondering, how is this, is there a tank that could be butting up? Cause you do actually have National Guard land
Mhm.
on your existing
Yes,
land
we do,
use.
but that address is,
But
Oh.
that could be the address of ownership,
Not of the location of the tanks.
yeah,
That makes sense.
on that one.
So if it's
Oh.
a big chunk of land,
okay,
Yep.
got it,
and
okay.
they
Well,
own
it's
it
saying
from.
7 tanks, so,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess could be sprinkled around the township.
Huh?
I'm gonna put a question mark on that one and have
Okay.
Ethan check it.
Warehouses in our township.
Yep.
Grayling City Garage.
No,
No,
I don't know what that is.
Sabo Construction, no.
Okay.
It's old. They built our house in 2003. They're retired.
Oh, wow.
Milliken Equipment, no. Crawford County Transportation Authority, no.
Oh, wait, hang on, we're going in order. Grayling,
I've been going down.
oh, you went Grayling Industry and Riley?
Well, Riley, we know that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanna go, yeah, just double check one. See where the township is in.
That might have been the water plant over there,
Which one?
on Mario Road.
I mean, that's our township. for
Right,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
But 2 tanks, yeah, I'm not sure.
So we're questioning the Grayling
What's that?
we're questioning that one, Grayling Industry and Industrial, off of Mario.
No,
No,
that's in our township.
that's our
That
address,
one
yeah.
for sure, and Mario Road, yes,
Right.
is ours.
We just didn't know there's tanks there.
The 2 on
Well, like you
Milliken,
said, they could have been removed, but how do you get them off the list?
Yeah,
or maybe they don't ever come off the list.
I don't, it could,
Potentially
yeah,
be-
I don't know.
For future hazard,
Yeah,
yeah.
that, again, cause how far does it go down? 'Cause
Yeah.
we all know that with
But if
PFAS,
you look
so.
at a lot of the active tanks, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Yeah,
So, does that mean they're just not being used, or does that mean they've been removed and they're
right.
So
still
what are
on the list?
releases? Is that where they have it still?
Yes,
Okay.
About this bulk plant that's part here.
What's that?
Bottom
Yeah,
right side.
I don't know.
I don't know where Central Avenue is. Do we have a Central Avenue? Do we have avenues? It's usually a city.
Oh, great question.
can't wait to tell these guys they're wrong.
I'm
Put
glad
a
we
question
made-
mark by that one.
Yep. So Ethan pulls all this, and he's Denise's son, and he, she has 2 boys. Jared does all of her proofreading, he's great, he's sarcastic, it's awesome. Ethan is not, does not joke. So, awesome to tell him he's wrong. Makes me very happy.
You good with that section?
Mhm.
I mean,
On to oil and gas wells? Oh. I had no idea we had that many.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know there's a lot out that way, but I never seen it on a map like this, that's great. Oh, look at this.
That state land that they're on.
Well, that's why I wish we could get them plugged. the ones that are not active.
When this master plan draft is finalized, could you please put page numbers in the document?
There should have been page numbers.
There's no page numbers,
so
and it's a large document.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
there's
will,
one on
like,
that.
the actual draft will have, I'm surprised that it didn't.
There's no page numbers.
Huh. Well, I apologize because it's supposed to, so.
Okay, so you might make a note to tell
Yep.
whoever is formatting.
Well, That, and these aren't even formatted, like, that's not even, we're so far from formatting, so.
Well,
Yeah. So now you're on to your most depressing chapter ever, and that's your housing chapter. It just, cause I wrote, well, Alpena is one large plan with 10 communities. They're doing their entire county, and each municipality went in on the plan, so I have to break them out within that. So it ends up being 40 of these chapters I've written. You just go down this rabbit hole, and you just wanna go have a beer afterwards, cause it's just depressing.
but this is low-density housing up here anyhow, we're up north.
Yeah, but that's not the depressing part. The depressing part is the cost of ownership.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When you
yeah, that part,
seriously
yeah.
break it out, it's just, yeah, the cost to build.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you're gonna say, oh, I think we've had a house built after 2020. Again, it's 23 data. You may have had a building permit for a house after December of 23, but it's not showing because it's 23 data. We go into the income again. For housing, we only talk about family or household. I don't go per capita because, or whatever else they broke out, because those aren't the people usually that we're looking at. We're looking at that median, truly median couple. And 86% of your vacant houses are seasonal houses, which is 92% of Crawford County. The state of Michigan as a whole only sees that as 46%. I do have some communities that have much higher percentages there also, which you think, how can that get much higher? It can get much higher, it's kind of crazy. I have some that are like 94%, 95%. Wow, you have a huge, Mullet is one of them actually. Yes?
So I just received a strange response from somebody that I sent this flyer to. It says it goes to a different Beaver Creek. So, but you did you use the URL or did you use the website?
I did the QR code.
That's what that is, the URL.
Yeah,
It goes the same
well,
thing.
the URLs, the letters, the QR codes, the digital.
Yeah, take a picture of.
Yeah, the square.
Okay, so you're saying the URL.
Yeah, it should take you right.
Basically, this is where it took.
So the Survey Monkey one is taking them to a.
So what they said is that URL goes to a different Beaver Creek, that's all it says.
The Survey Monkey one, or
Yeah, the
did
one on
they,
the
or
sheet
did
right
they
here.
Google?
The one on the sheet, the flyer.
The flyer one?
Well, I will tell you, mine says Beaver Creek Township Community Input. It doesn't say Michigan or some other place, I'm assuming.
Then what she's saying is it's a different Beaver Creek.
How would you know,
Take all the way through.
I don't know. I haven't taken it yet.
Here's where I copied the URL, emailed it myself from the QR code, and this is what that says. So the last part is different, it doesn't say Beaver Creek, it says Beaver Creek TWP at the end of it. So this one URL is not the same as this URL.
Could we just have one for
It doesn't have the TWP added.
Right,
But
it's got
that's
the slash, everything else is the same.
Maybe why we're not getting the
So
responses.
that's not right.
The URL is not right, is what you're
That's
thinking,
what
right?
the QR code did, and that's.
I wonder if it got cut off. I'll
So-
pull it up when I get home and I'll resend it to you. It's,
He's saying it's
See,
not.
so I've already sent it out to
added.
all my contacts and I put it on all these Facebook pages and it's not right.
Is the problem.
The QR code is correct.
Yes.
well, and
QR code will take you to the
So,
survey.
but the QR code
So-
on a picture isn't necessarily gonna work.
Survey Monkey as a whole got hacked at one point, and no one, including Survey Monkey, could find what had happened. And we are now seeing, as we're going through results, some of our responses were deleted. And if this was deleted, because if you go to this
That's where it comes.
URL that's stated right here, it's only asking 2 questions, and that's not a normal Survey Monkey thing. So
Okay,
I will get it corrected and send SurveyMonkey another
Hold back all
nasty
those
message
emails you sent
that
out.
this is
I've
what's
just
going
So
on.
did you have
this
more
whole
than-
time sending it out.
Did you have more than 2 questions when you did it though?
Well, she wasn't the one that went, somebody she had sent it to,
Went through it?
tried
Yeah.
to,
I'm not doing it
it went to a different
No, I won't do it
deeper
again.
creek.
No.
Yeah, so
Or-
it's,
Oh, the one in Ohio?
yeah.
Or
Colorado.
somewhere
Yeah,
else for that
and
matter,
that's,
yeah.
yeah, so
I know, they
SurveyMonkey will
don't.
get
They don't
a
care.
phone call from us again, to figure out.
They can write negative letters to me all they want,
Yeah,
doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't say where it
I have a
goes.
right to speak.
Well, it doesn't say where the end result goes.
did you get a negative letter?
I got a negative letter delivered to me right to the, county commissioner
Okay.
meeting.
So,
Really?
Yes, trying to censure me.
we are like basically expenses affecting households.
It's a clown show.
I went into this because everybody has to have a vehicle up here, there's no public transportation. So you need to take that into account when you think about, and I mean, public transportation, I mean, you can't go jump on a subway or a bus system and get to work, as a general whole.
That's good.
Yeah, so only 20 of your residents or your households don't own a vehicle, which is very low. Basically, your majority has 2 or above vehicles, which, think about your own house, I'm sure there's at least 2.
5 or 6.
There you
Start
go,
adding
see?
in quads and
Yep.
stuff, and this number's
And
gonna
that's the
go
thing,
up.
so,
Maybe you guys should donate to these people that don't have it.
yeah, those 20 people.
Those 20 people need your quad.
That's right.
They probably got them, but they're not running.
Um,
And you're getting called,
So again, you know, cars affect your budget, just car insurance affects your budget. Then you look at how you heat your house, you don't have a lot of natural gas available down here.
More than it was.
I
Which-
can't
and
believe
that's-
though, only 40
but this
residents?
is back in 23, this was done.
Yeah, these are
Oh,
23
Cause they
numbers.
just came through my whole subdivision
Yeah, we know.
and
Yep,
Yeah,
So
we're
that-
just saying.
Signed everybody
That's
up.
why this report's back in
So
23.
this
Yep.
could be tripled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, for natural gas.
that would have to be at least triple.
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
gonna say
Send them
40
down
seems
off my
extremely
way.
low.
Down this side.
Oh, it's saving me a lot of money.
I
lot
haven't
of
made the
money.
change in them.
Yeah, they
Seriously
stopped
considering.
short of South Oak Road.
And you
If you
add
have
in
the
a tankless
opportunity-
water heater and
You're foolish not to.
good,
I mean, it's a
save a
third
lot
of
of
the
money.
cost of
Yeah.
propane.
and that's exactly why we spell it out like this, because if you're a high propane community, you have very few extra dollars, especially in your winter months, so. Then you go into your costs of home ownership and go down your depressing little rabbit hole. Your overall cost to build, in the township, when I pulled this, there were 7 buildable parcels for sale. Only one had a well and septic, but again, you don't know if that is a good well and septic or up to code. The average price of land was $30,500. I had one community argue with me, they're like, no, you can get a lot for much cheaper here. They ain't for sale, so you can't, this is the average price of land.
That's actually, yeah,
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
Big
She was a realtor and she just, I'm like, we can argue this all day long, but if you don't have it to sell, it doesn't work.
Yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
asking
it's with the lot size of having 3 acres, when land and development costs are combined, the total estimated cost to build a home in the township rises to $382,000. That is for a 1,500 square foot home, no garage, builder grade finishes with a well and septic.
That's nuts.
For 3 acres.
Wow.
Which is actually pretty decent,
Oh, yeah, but I mean.
that's a lot of land.
But
I have
close
one
to 400
community,
grand for 1,500 square foot is,
Mm.
it's insane.
especially
So,
builder grade everything.
well, and here you go, if you wanna go even further. To finance the project, you have to have a $20,000 down, or a 20% down payment. For any construction loan, that is $76,500, which is almost $20,000 over your annual median household income.
And that's just your down payment.
That is just your down payment. Your mortgage then would result in a house payment of $2,152. That does not include insurance, taxes,
Yeah.
well, and septic.
utilities. Well, that is your well and septic,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not your
Something's gotta be
utilities.
done.
Not
Yep.
a utility.
People can't
No.
afford it.
I bought my daughter a house last year in Grayling. It was a foreclosure. The cheapest one we could find was $140. We fixed it up. Her payments $1,200, and places are doubled in value. Real.
It is, so, to meet the standard affordability guidelines, housing costs do not exceed 30% of your household income. A family would need to earn at least $87,000 per year. This is $22,000 to $32,000 higher than your median income, but I go further than that. I'm gonna skip over purchase price because that is what it is based on the market. Your final cost, a frequent overlooked aspect of housing affordability, is the cost of monthly utilities. We are only going to base those at a modest estimate of $100 a month for 4 utilities. That would be phone, internet, heat, and electric. We all know that's an absolute joke, but we're just gonna do that. Once this ongoing cost is included, the picture of what's truly affordable significantly changes. The maximum affordable price decreases from $227,000 of a for sale already existing home to $167,000. That's for, sorry, I lost my spot. That was for a family. For the average household in the township, which must have a higher income, is it goes from 200,000 to, I missed a number there, cause that's weird. I will go back and figure that out, so we'll skip that. When it comes to new home construction, these additional costs push the required household income from an estimate of $87,000 to $102,000 to build a home. So that's your depressing thoughts. I don't need, it's just depressing. Yep. Existing land use, it is what it is. This is just what your land is. These are based on the tax classifications on their tax bill. That's how we went through and pulled it. Why is it smaller? Because I didn't realize there was still a comment there when I transmitted it to a PDF. So now you have a smaller print. But that's why, and it's a deleted comment, or it was supposed to be a deleted comment, but.
Alright.
So that is all for the master plan, and I'll make those changes. Yeah. Now, do you have to finish up a zoning table? Is that on your agenda yet too?
No.
Cause I had it on my to-do list to cover with you guys tonight, but you
What was
guys,
that?
your permitted use table.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The things she gave us for homework last.
Yeah.
Yep,
Kinda, there.
your red sections.
Cause yeah, we didn't have them on the agenda.
So it's up, we can go through them. I mean, you're pushing 8 o'clock, it's completely up to you. I don't wanna keep you any.
Table it.
Okay. And that's complete, I'm not pushing you either way whatsoever, so, yeah, we'll make Denise. Alright, one last thing I have to cover with you, really, really quick. So we did talk about formatting the plan, and I'm just gonna kind of bring these up to you guys. I'm gonna leave you guys a copy so you can look at them. These are templates that we made. I did not make these. These are very pretty, they're very busy. We've never done a plan in these templates. That being said, these are example pages of our current plans that we have just adopted or are in the process of adopting. Just to give you an idea of how your plan can look, when we're done formatting it. They're just for you guys to go through, get an idea of what you'd like your plan to look like, and let us know. Let Kim know, email me, whatever.
You need like vote on that?
Well, that's, I mean, you guys can look at it, you don't
No, we
have to
look at
decide
it,
tonight. And that's what I said, I'm just gonna leave you guys an example. My personal favorites, I really like, there's a Prescott County and a Prescott Township plan in there. they're really simple, they're not a lot of these heavy graphic ones.
Yeah, that would be better.
Exactly.
The person.
Potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, I like to use graphics when you're talking land use, or we're talking, housing or education. You put something in there because you need the text to fit that page, or, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't need all that pretty font. The girl that made those templates doesn't understand
Well,
that.
if we look at that, actually, it's the people that are actually gonna be paying attention to
Right,
stuff.
they're not after that, no, so, but that's, yeah, I just wanted to give that to you guys tonight so you can take a look at it. You've got time to decide, like we said, and I'm in no hurry to format chapters, because you're just one of four.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate all of that. I appreciate all your help.
Yeah.
I think we covered most of them. Any comments from audience? All right, I motion to adjourn at 7:51. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Done.